thanks for tuning in. This is Optibotimus coming to you with another video review. And on today's episode, we're going to be taking a look at the new Hot Toys QS06 of the quarter scale Iron Man Mark 45 from the Avengers Age of Ultron. And as you can see, this is again an absolutely massive package that I unfortunately do not have the space to be able to fully showcase. As you can see there in the top, it is the Sideshow exclusive version, which includes the Ultron Sentry drone head, as well as a secret accessory. For the package though, you can see a really cool image of the Mark 45 helmet there. It's actually a separate piece from the main section of the package. You can see that it's kind of like 3D and stuff. On the side here, you have that Avengers Age of Ultron. On the back of the package here, you actually have the cast and crew responsible for making it, as well as the various warnings. And then throughout here, you can actually see that there's a lot of battle damage on it, as this does come with, well, a battle damage test piece. And then to get to the inside, what you do is you remove this piece, just go ahead and slide this out to the side, and this whole section here, trying to be fairly careful, slides out from the side of the package itself. And then on the inside, you have another little section with the Avengers logo that does also slide out, and then you have a little foam section that flops down, and then the inside here has an actual foam insert that holds the figure. And then when you slide out that foam insert, underneath is the tray that holds all of his accessories. But for the packaging on this guy, that's about it. So without further ado, let's get him out here and see how cool he actually is. Now coming down to take a look at his accessories first, one thing that I'd like to talk about is that this figure has received a fair amount of criticism for the lack of his accessories when compared to the previous released quarter scale Mark 43. And honestly, rightly so. There are less accessories here, and the reason this only does come with as much as it does is because this is the exclusive version, which includes this extra accessory. So if you don't get the exclusive, this is all you get. Which in terms of accessories, when compared to the 43, this set here really does come up short. Now first, in addition to the two fisted hands that are currently on him, he also does come with a right and left articulated hand, which is what we got previously. You do get a different, hand guard here, obviously, because the suit is different. But as you can see, you do have the articulated hand with the ball jointed primary knuckles, and then you have the hinges right here for all the other knuckles. And then what you actually have here is now a repulsor blast that doesn't have that section here that comes down. If you remember, the previous one had a little kind of rubberized section that flexed up. Now, I talked about this in the other one as well. Great detail throughout the entire thing. But one thing that I'll say is, again, I really do wish they would actually paint the joints on the articulated one. You can see that basically what they did with the repulsor blast ones is all the joints here are painted black. It's like a rubber section of the suit. That would be nice if that translated here. And then when you look at the way that it's just designed, like for example, you got this top section right here, you can see that there's more black, I guess. So, I don't know, I mean, it doesn't translate all that well if you ask me, but the rest of it does look really nice. You can see a nice amount of wear here on the actual back of it, giving it a battle damage sort of look. And that's basically it. you do get a battle damage chest piece. It looks really great. Nice denting and scratches throughout the entire thing. It's not just painted on there. I mean, that's actually molded in there. And it's just attached via some magnets, so it does swap out really easily. But again, one aspect that I don't particularly like when they do something like this is they give you one battle damage piece, and the rest of the figure, while it does have some wear and scorching, it doesn't have all the same scratches and stuff. So it looks a little bit out of place. That's one aspect that does bother me, considering there are a few parts on here that are removable to actually access some of the other features. So I think they could have included some other battle damage parts. Now, he does come with a separate Arc Reactor section here. This is just a full-on white piece. It looks a little bit better when it's displayed because it gives the illusion of it being lit up. I kind of like what's on there already, which is just a clear one that allows you to see the details of the Arc Reactor. But like I said, this is a really nice option if you're not going to obviously leave the lights on. And again, I'll show how to attach all these here in a bit. It's fairly easy. And then you also do get, now this is one thing that they showed us that we knew we were getting. This is an Ultron Sentry head. I do believe it's the exact same one that we got previously with the Mark 43. Now the only thing that's really different is these eyes are red, and you got some little red details on here. The previous 43 version
version had some blue eyes and such. So overall, good detail on here, but I have to echo what I talked about before. When you look at some of the minor details throughout here and like kind of on the side, it looks like it's melted, like it was superheated and just blobbed together. So while some of the detail like here looks really nice, when you get to some of the smaller, more intricate details like the wire and things like that, it just, like I said, looks like it's melted together, and that's a little unfortunate. So again, reused part, but it's still nice nonetheless, and you can just set that there. Now this was the secret accessory, and this is what you get when you get the exclusive version. This appears to be a right arm of a Sentry drone, which with the 43 it came with the left arm, which was just a humanoid sort of look. This is more in a blaster kind of look. Again, nice detail on here, but you can see again some of that like melted section kind of coming through here, This is a little bit better than like say that, or even the body that's on the base. This does look pretty good. You got some nice wires and such, real good paint detail on here with some good variation. But again, like I said, in terms of just the regular one, if you don't get the exclusive, you don't even get this. So obviously you want to get the exclusive version. The price is the same, but when deciding, you want to get the most for your money. So you're obviously going to want to get this. I don't know how many people are going to use it, but it's a nice diorama piece. Now you do get this large diorama base, which does seem like it's very similar to what we got previously. You got the Avengers Age of Ultron Mark 45, got some tech detail on here, good detail with the cement and everything. Again, you have the body of an Ultron drone kind of in here, and again, you look throughout it, and like you look through up here, and even when you come back here, it's like I don't understand why they have coming back a little bit so you can kind of coming up. I have no idea why there's dirt curling up on it. I mean, it just kind of seems strange. And then again, you look throughout here and it's all melted looking. So it does look good, say, from a distance. But when you look up close, and that's what Hot Toys is really kind of known for, like these really great up close details. This just feels like it's a little lackluster. You got some red paint kind of going through there with some wires. I mean, you got the clear pillar with the little crotch resting thing. But like you look through in here and it's just, again, just it doesn't feel right. Like there's dirt up in there, and I get where there would be dirt and debris from the rubble and everything. It looks like it's part of the actual robot, so it doesn't look all that good. I don't honestly think. So, like I said, accessory-wise, he doesn't really come with a lot. This entire set here actually is like $5 more than the quarter scale Mark 43. So, you're essentially paying more for this, but getting less. So what that really means is this figure has to be spectacular and so good that it makes you ignore the limited amount of accessories that you get. And I gotta be honest, this figure absolutely does. A lot of it has to do with the fact that I love the design and look of the Mark 45 already. If you remember in my review of the 6 scale one, I just basically gushed over it. I love how it's a lot more form-fitting. It has like an organic kind of look to it. Just in general, it's a really cool look for an Iron Man figure. Taking a look at the head here, I mean, I love the design of the helmet. I really like this little section that comes out as well. Real nice gold color. You can see a lot of that battle damage throughout the entire piece. You got the little scratches and everything throughout the entire thing. Now, like I was talking about, the chest piece here is just magnetic. So all you do is pull this away, and then you got the inner detail here. You have the very nice arc reactor on the inside there as well. This piece here just literally pops out. It's a little bit tricky, but you can just take this, slide this out just like so, drop everything. This is the extra little arc reactor piece, and then you just take this, you remove that whole thing, and then you slide this piece in just like so. And like I said, it gives it a more permanent lit up section, and then you take this, put that right back on there, and like I said, it just makes it look like that's always lit up, which is pretty cool. But that's the only battle damage section. You do have all these scratches throughout the entire thing. I do wish there was more, especially since like this piece right here actually is magnetically attached. So they could have given you a battle damage piece right there. Again, we'll touch on that here a little bit, but there's a couple other pieces that are like that could have given you that battle damage look. But still, design wise, absolutely gorgeous with all the detail throughout the entire thing. Real nice red color on it. Coming down here to the legs, you've got a lot of nice molded detail throughout the entire leg section. You can see some like scorching here along the side, which looks really very good. Again, you come down here to the knee and leg area, and you just got a more organic sort of panel line, which I think looks really cool for it. And then another section down here, this piece actually does flex up, and it's ball jointed, so you just take this off, and that's actually how you access the lights for this. So again, you could have put battle damage pieces right there. So, I don't know. It's just something that I wish that they would have done more of. I like the clean look, to be totally honest. A lot of times I don't have battle damage parts displayed anyhow, but the overall, I think, presentation would have been a little bit better if they gave you more of those battle damage sections. Now, one thing that I also do want to talk about is the instruction. It is very important that you go through this. It shows you how to install the batteries, all the various points of articulation, how to swap out the different pieces and things of that nature. And then obviously it shows you the parts that you want to be careful of in terms of, you know, like you not damaging anything. So this is something that you really do want to make sure that you go through. But taking a look at some of his features, you can see that you have that swappable arc reactor piece right there. You also do have these really cool laser sections here. So rotating this around so that you can get to this whole section flexes down, and then you take this piece and this slides forward just a little bit, kind of getting that out of the way. And this piece, it's a little bit tricky to do, but this piece here then slides up and slides back just like that, and then you can replace this, and now you have, again, moving his arms around so you can see it. There you have his little laser beams. Both of these arms actually have that. It's, again, fairly cool that it's incorporated in the body. A lot of those extra accessories that we got with the 43 had to be, you know, attached to it, but it's really about it. There's not a lot of other pieces, so you just flex that back down, slide that there, slide that piece back up like so. He does have his air flaps here. You can move these up, being careful obviously with it. Move these pieces up using my little fingernail. And then this one here does flex up. You got a little hinge section that hinges forward, and then it pulls up and away from the body. So you have the air flaps right there, and you access the lights right on the back here. I'll show off all the lights, but you got that little bit for an air flap, and then these little pieces here also hinge out like you could see before as little air flaps as well. But for his features, that's really about it in terms of the overall built-in stuff here with the suit. So it's a little bit lackluster, considering, again, you had the Mark 43, which had a lot more built-in stuff, or at least parts that could be attached to it, you know, like the little shoulder cannons and things like that. Now he does have light-up features, so you just take this off like so, take this off. These are magnetically attached, and then you got the little switch right here. So just flop that on, put that little magnet piece right there, put that there as well. Really nice light up eyes, really nice bright eyes. I do like that. You can even see that the lights are actually kind of off to the side, which match where the actual eyes are here. Now, he doesn't come with a Tony Stark portrait. That's another part that is a little bit unfortunate. The 43 did. So again, did the 43 have a better value considering it's less than this? That's up to you. I think that the design for the suit, though, kind of keeps the price at what it is. And while some of those parts aren't actually designed in there, there's some really nice stuff that's designed in this, which the other one did not have. So it does offset it, I think. So turning this off so that it doesn't burn the lights out, obviously. He also does have the light up arc reactor to access that. It's a little bit trickier. Kind of get these out of the way. Using my finger. It does come with a little tool, but I left it over on my desk, so I'm just using the little tiny fingernail thing that I have on my right pinky. So lift this up. This whole back section here is magnetically attached. It's tricky to get to, so you have to, okay, there you go, got a little edge on it, and you pull it off. This, like I said, just magnetically attaches, but then you have the switch right up here. Now, one thing that's cool is there's a couple different light up sections. Now, I missed this totally on the 43, but when you move this to the left side, it lights up the arc reactor, which looks good. I mean, it's kind of hard to tell because, you know, obviously the lights aren't very dim in my area, so turning that, I keep flipping it, so off, on, but you can totally see the difference there. Now, if you move it all the way to the opposite side, you also get some lights coming through here, which are really cool. You got some blue lights kind of coming through the vents through the top section. You got some blue lights coming through there. You got some more lights coming through the bottom section underneath here. You got some little lights coming through there. It's really very cool how they got all those in there. And then obviously, if you just have the Arc Reactor on, these little lights don't turn on. So I would imagine that if you have all the lights on, it'll probably burn through the battery quicker. But it does kind of make me wish that there was a way that you could plug something in to get all these, because these are really cool lights. I like that a lot. So you do have that. And again, to put this back, you do have to leave these little sections up because it kind of overlaps. So just line that back up, put that little piece right in there, and then close these, slot that back in there like so. So you do have that for the light up. Then you also do have the repulsors. Now, these are a little bit tricky, again, so you want to take the hand off it. Well, at least I want to take the hand off because it makes it a little bit easier for me. And then on the inside here, so just wedge this in there, open this up just like so. I wish that was kind of a magnetic section. It would make it a lot easier. And then you flip the switch right there, and then you have the light that comes through. So again, you can see that the repulsor blast would be really cool in there. I'm not going to put it on there. You get the idea, obviously, and it's kind of a stressful situation. So you have both of those, the right and left arm, which has that. Again, I wish they would have made that magnetic. It would have been a little bit easier. And I'm thinking, for the price that you're paying, would have probably been a little bit, better, I think. So lock that back in there. Obviously, I took this little piece off to actually get to it. Makes it a little bit easier for me. And then obviously I took the hand off. Again, makes it a little bit easier. You don't want to rub things. The paint can get damaged, obviously. And then the actual legs have some light up features as well, which is really cool. So to access that, you come back to his back thigh. This piece here just pulls out. That actually pulls out really easily. And then you got the switch right here that when you flip that, it makes some more blue lights kind of come through here, which looks really very good. And then the back section here, they actually tell you to remove this. So just pull this whole section off. Again, like I said, it's a ball joint, and then the little switch is right there. So flip that, and then you got the little vents right there. And then you got some more lights kind of coming through on that section, which again, really very cool. I dig that, like I said, organicness to it. So again, you got the little vent light coming through there. Just overall really cool. I think it's really neat how they got that. So you have that on the right leg as well. So lots of light up features on here that, again, just really help to sell the overall presence of the figure, I think. And obviously, because of the size is a contributing factor, but because you have a much bigger figure, you're able to put some of those light up features and all those details and things in there, which really does just help to make this figure worth what you're paying. Now for his articulation, now the head here is on a ball joint, so you get a nice range of motion there. The neck section here basically just moves forward and back. It doesn't really rotate here at the neck because it's all sculpted in kind of like an oval shape, so you don't get much of a rotation, but because you can hinge that back and put that back fairly good, you can get a nice flying pose with it. Again, great detail throughout the entire thing. Even when you come down here to look in the arms, it's amazing. So lots of articulation there. This section here does hinge out a little bit. This little piece here actually does flex. It's on a little rubbery section underneath there, so that moves around as well. So you can lift this and kind of pull that all the way up. And then again, great detail throughout the entire thing, just staggering. So you got a nice rotation there. It has an armpit joint, so it can flex in and out very far. I mean, obviously you can see how far that actually brings it out. So tremendous amount of articulation there. He also does rotate at the bicep, so you get a nice range of motion. This whole thing like is on a ball joint, so that's crazy cool. So it does rotate at the upper part of the bicep. Now, the purpose of this detaching is for the articulation here for the elbow. You got two joints for the elbow, but this right here actually then rubs in. So what you can actually do is hinge this up, and that allows you to get a much further range of motion with it. That's the actual purpose of this part moving. Again, I don't know why they couldn't have given you a battle damage section, because it is just magnetically attached. So I guess you could make it battle damage by taking it off, but that's just magnetically there. So again, that's a little bit disappointing, I honestly do think. So you got two joints here at the elbow. The actual wrist here are kind of like on two swivels. Like you can see this lower section here, like this part actually rotates as well. And then you can see that you got a ball joint on the intersection. So you rotate it here, and then it also can rotate at the ball joint. You can also hinge it forward and back, which gets you a real nice range of motion. So almost anything that you could possibly think of with this wrist, you can basically do. And then obviously, if you have the articulated fingers, you can position those how you want. For the waist section here, getting this lifted up and out of the way, the entire torso bit here can actually extend up at 2 different sections, so you can rotate that fairly nicely at the waist. It can move forward and back on a really nice deep crunch, and then obviously it can swivel side to side. But when you have it collapsed all the way down, it's a little bit more limited. It just basically rotates. You got some nice flexible pieces right here, which really help to facilitate some of that ab crunching. Come down here to the actual hips. These little pieces here move forward. This little piece here slides out, so you can move the legs fairly decently. Oh, you got actually a bunch of different flexible pieces right here. You got 3 different pieces. So you can move the legs forward about that far when you have it just like so. But you can actually also then pull it down, and it can lift a little bit further. But you can also come around here to the back, and he's got a butt button. You push that, you can actually extend the butt section down to get a much further range of motion with it. And then to put it back up, you just push that button again and hinge the hip section back up, and that locks back into place. Getting everything all collapsed back in. You can also rotate him at the upper part of the thigh, and you can see that the hip section here is also on a ball joint, so you get a little bit of a range of motion with that, and then you can rotate it out, so you get a nice full rotation here with the leg. Obviously, you can move the leg in and out as well. You come down here to the knee section. This section here moves about, now let's see, about that far, but then you can take this section and, being very careful obviously, hinge this down, and you can hinge this up a lot more. Get this all out of the way. You got 2 different joints here. This very big, heavy figure. So you got 2 joints right here that when you move this section out, you can get that really extended all the way down here. And you can see that this whole section actually shifts, which is cool. So you got a little bit more of a range of motion here. You can see how that moves when you actually flex that. So bringing that back up brings this whole section back up in alignment, which is really cool. It just facilitates a further range of motion down here. And then you come down to the ankles as well. Those flex forward and back. Those back sections here do move all over, so you can get a nice range of motion, which is really nice. Again, you get some really cool dynamic poses with them. And then you also do get a little bit of toe articulation as well. So lots of articulation in this, more than what was in the 43. So that's one aspect that really does impress me. And again, all the detail throughout the entire thing is really quite nice and makes you absolutely feel like this figure is worth the price that you're paying, I think. Like I said, you're limited in the accessories that you're getting, but the figure itself, in my honest opinion, absolutely makes up for it.
But at the end of the day, despite the fact that he doesn't come with as many accessories as I would like, as I said, I really do feel that the figure really does make up for that. The level of detail in this is exemplary, and the improvements that they made really did surprise me. I love what they did here with the arms and having those little sections actually flex out so that you can get a deeper range of motion with his arms. Even down here with the legs, how bending them at the knee makes the top parts of his thighs actually shift. I mean, that is some really good engineering. I do kind of wish he came with a Tony Stark portrait, but honestly, the best look for him is this. Quarter scale figures are a lot more expensive and definitely do appeal to a very distinct collector market, but I think what you're getting is worth that price tag that you're paying. I've used the phrase before when I've described some of these figures, and this one really is an articulated piece of art. So if this is a figure that you'd be interested in adding to your collection, it is available right now at Sideshow Collectibles. So all you have to do for that is click on the link down in the video description. You'll go to Sideshow where you can check out availability on this guy, as well as the rest of their wide range of Hot Toys 1/4 scale figures. But beyond that, guys, that's about it. So once again, I want to thank you for tuning in. This has been Optibotimus. Don't forget that if you like this video, to please hit that like button. Also, be sure to subscribe in case you haven't already subscribed. That way you get instant email notifications whenever I upload a new video, and you never miss out on a future review of mine. Or if you're already subscribed, be sure to click on that little bell on my homepage and double check your settings to make sure that they're set so that you get those email notifications. And as always, until next time, be excellent to each other.